phone, bro.
We are?
Yep.
Hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash.
and we'll honor the elders and apostles of the great millstone.
Right.
Peace and blessings to all for elect, Lord willing, to be a part of that number. All right, I'm the vertical Dar. I'm here with the mighty brothers from the GRMS Arizona branch. And we're just going into the chariots, okay, because we understand that the elite banking families like the Rothschild and the Rockefellers, which is our one family, is dealing with this guy named Yahoo, you know, to push their agenda, who's using Trump to push his agenda. You know, and we understand, we know about the greater Israel project, you know, how they went from, they had Venezuela, now they're going after Iran, and after Iran, now they're talking about Turkey. You know, so we see what these devils are doing, and the reason why they're in such a haste is the scripture said they have but a short time. The brother can grab that. All right, because Job 14:5, you know, I'll grab that real quick because these high-level elites that deal with these left-hand spirits, they understand they have a limited amount of time left. This Job 14:5, it says, "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass." You know, so there's a set time limit for this devil, and he's not going 1 second above that. You know?
That's right. That's right. You got more on it?
Nah, that was all.
This is Revelation 12:17, which you called for. It says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High." Oh, no, that's not it. Verse 12, selected. Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down as you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time."
Right, and he knows that he had but a short time. That's why he's attacking these nations the way he's attacking them. You know, but ultimately is the Lord moving him to do so. Because now they're talking about the Arabian NATO. They're talking about that now. They formed the Arabian NATO. That's the dragon of Arabia forming. You know? Hey, Amalek did what nobody can do, which was to join all the Muslim countries together, man, against you. You know, because right now everybody sees Amalek for who they are. They the boogeyman. You know.
Got one. Yeah, I got one real quick. I just had it. This is go ahead, bro. I gotta find it.
I'm going to keep reading on this. It says, verse 13, it says, "And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child." And that's how we know that we had come to the end, right? I was watching a video where this lady was going into the plans for Rex 84. And she was going into the recent laws that were just passed by the Trump administration, giving the FBI and the CIA the ability to categorize American citizens and put them into the tier system and say who's a threat and who's not, who to detain first and who not. So these devils know that their kingdom's coming to the end. They see this truth growing exponentially. Everybody knows the Israelites. Now you got Christian pastors talking about Edom. Who's Edom? Amalek. All these things like that. So they're being revealed on all sides. So what are they going to do? This is a thief in the vagabond. He's going to rebel. He's going to rebel. He's going to lash out. He's going to threaten everybody who is a witness. I mean, shit. If I was over, bro, that's what I would do. Nigga, make me out my face. You want me to shoot you? Like, that's what it would be. And that's what he's doing to everybody in the world.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The scripture says Cain is a vagabond. You know, so he's always running from the title of being Esau.
Yep.
You know, he claims to be everybody but Esau.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He conquers you, he claims to be a nation. You know? Apparently Esau done away with it. This 2 Ezra 15, verse 29, it says, "Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble." Yeah, if a brother can grab Ezekiel 38, it says, "Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood," which is talking about the Persians, the Iranians. Okay? Because this is the spirit, Yahweh Shai. Well, first of all, Arabia means mixture. You know, so Elam and Ishmael was getting together to fight against Amalek. says, as a wild boar of the wood. A wild boar is a wild fucking animal, man. A dangerous animal. You know, a lot of men have died trying to hunt wild boar.
Yeah, he's fast.
Aggressive.
Many ass tanks. They don't stop.
400 pounds.
Yep.
You gotta shoot them motherfuckers. I was watching a clip of these Edomites be going out there and knocking them down. They be having farms and shit or whatever. They'll knock down coyotes and then knock down these boars. I guess it's like overpopulation of boars and all that shit. And these motherfuckers be running after they get shot. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
Gotta be a headshot or it don't work.
Yeah. You think it is a fucking pig and shit? That motherfucker 400 pounds.
Running a 4-4.
Right at your shit.
Oh man. I hate pigs, man. It's just so rough. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
They're some filthy creatures.
It says, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. All right, and that's talking about you Americans. Okay, and they're going to come together to fight against you.
Yeah.
All right, it says verse 31, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, right? Because the Lord is put like the Lord said, He's putting hooks in the jaws of Gog and Magog, and the Lord is bringing that warlike spirit back on these nations, man.
Yeah.
You know, let the weak stand strong, as the scripture says.
Yeah, you go into the Persian, the Medo-Persian, the Arabian Empire. What is it called? The centaur? The curved sword?
Yeah.
For a
Yeah,
long time,
yeah.
that was one of the most
Yeah.
that was one of the most lethal weapons in history. It was flexible, it didn't break, it was made out of steel, all that stuff, like sliced right through a nigga. And now they're remembering their former nature. These so-called Muslim countries, bro, they're about to be on 10 with Esau everywhere. That's why you got to build up in Iran. You don't think Iran's having private talks with Syria and private talks with what is it called? What are they? We were just talking about the Saudis,
Yeah, the Saudis, yeah.
right? You don't think they're having private talks? You don't think they're noticing the way Esau is dealing, and they just want to go into this new system without him?
Yeah. Yep. Hey, because ultimately, hey, these countries, they have officially had enough with Esau, man. Okay, to the point where they just like, all right, man, fuck y'all, we gonna do our own thing. All right, you got BRICS. Okay. You got Brexit. So that lets you know that Esau kingdom is divided and it's coming to an end, man.
Yeah, priest and free.
Yeah.
One of those guys early. This is Joel 3 and 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak side of them strong." Because now you even have Iran barking against America. You know what I'm saying? And really not, because America wanted them to get rid of it was a chemical used to make news.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
It's enriched something.
Enriched uranium.
Right. And they're like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? So and they being backed by Russia and all that. So you gotta think, scripture said that the least of the flock should draw them out. And you got Israel, the Amalekites, right, drawing out the big wigs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you got going on, man. Okay, it's constantly over there putting hell on the Palestinians. But who's that? Palestinians backed by Iran. And Iran is backed by who? Russia. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a domino effect. And then you got NATO and the EU, who was actually going against America, which is prophecy. Because it says, the beast shall eat the whore. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you have coming. It's all just biblical prophecy, man. But that's the beautiful part of all this is that the ones that you don't think, that nobody's ever even thinking about. Nobody's thinking about the Negroes or Latinos, right? And Native Americans being in any position of power. But according to biblical prophecy, we're going to be in position of power once y'all wipe each other out.
Yeah.
That's why the scripture said there should be a
This is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations that have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that's what you're seeing right now, man. Everybody's drinking of the wine of Babylon, but now they're mad. They're like, this nigga right here, everybody's looking at them sideways.
Sober enough.
Yeah, that cheap, cheap liquor gives you that mean ass hangover. You drinking up Mad Dog 2020, and you wake up the next day, now you're gonna start looking at the motherfucker like, what was I drinking? And that's what they're doing, because once they woke up, they saw that their pockets got empty. So somebody stole their ID.
Yeah.
Right? They opened up their credit card.
Yeah.
Somebody done took their identity.
This is the kidney.
Yep, this is the kidney.
Yeah.
And their car keys is gone.
Right.
And everybody's looking like, what the fuck happened? And now they're mad. They're angry. The system didn't work for them. And it said, like the brother read, those that ate thy bread with thee. Did you read that one?
Mm-hmm.
It's in that same verse that you was reading. Those that ate thy bread.
It says, no.
Let me get it, man. This is where is it? Ate thy bread. One second. This is in this Obadiah 1:7. That's what you're reading, right?
I was reading that, yeah.
Oh yeah. Obadiah 1:7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, right? The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that ate thy bread, meaning those that got in business with you, have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him. Right? All these tariffs, all the military deals, a lot of those deals are just good enough so that they can shuffle money around to get away from your system. Because it makes no sense that all these deals you got with these countries, in 26 countries, they don't want to pick up the debt that you had, which they've been doing for years. Because the system is getting ready to be ushered out. And this is how we know, like the scripture says, it says, for our righteous dealings and riches gotten by deceit became translated from one people to another. And that's where we're at. The kingdom is about to get translated, man. That's why you see more and more chariots in the sky. That's why you see more reports. That's why they're talking about releasing files on the UFOs and all that stuff. They're going to throw in deception, because they're not going to tell you those are the angels of the Lord. And they're coming back to save the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the elect of them. Right?
Connors, Jeremiah
I got that.
50, I'm sorry, 13. I'm sorry, verse 13.
Hmm?
I'm sorry, verse 13, because Jeremiah 50, verse 13. And because the wrath of Most High shall be inhabited, but his soul should be wholly desolate. Everyone that go by Babylon should be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourself in array against Babylon round about. All you that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows. For you're sitting against the Most High, because honestly, man, every single nation except does like, and that dealt with America, man, they're honestly really seeing the place really what it is, man. Really seeing that, all right, this place is humbling. There's so much, and you can see that, you can ask politicians that they're so with Israel that they don't even cover their own selves.
Yeah.
So every other nation seeing it, like, man, this place really needs to go. This place really is the evil superpower that they try to say that China and Russia is. Even the own people in here in the United States saying, again, this really is that evil superpower, that whole Axis power, all that shit. That's America today. So they're going to truly, so they're going to make sure this place does not exist forever.
Even General Patton, that World War II general, before he passed away, said he feared he fought the wrong enemy. So the whole world is waking up. It's you had that Ezekiel.
Yeah, I got that Ezekiel. That's what you told me?
No, I was going back here with this one.
Oh, this is what you call for. I'm backing you up. Let me get this first view with that.
I'll grab this one there.
Okay.
It's Revelation 17 and verse 15. It says, he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are the peoples and multitude and nations and tongues, which is America, because this is that melting pot. Just like Rome, you got all nations in America. That Roman army had all nations in it. verse 16, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, all right, which is NATO and the EU, all right, America's allies are turning against her, all right. It says, and it shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So we understand that something is going to happen to where America's allies in the near future are going to abandon her, you know. And I could very well see Amalek being the cause of that. You know, making America pick a side. They're gonna pick Amalek. That's just what I believe, speaking as a man through the Spirit.
That's prophecy.
You know,
Because you see the flock should draw them out, right?
mm-hmm.
And Amalek, the land of Israel and America is going to be obliterated, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? America and Amalek go hand in hand. Right? They go hand in hand because the leaders of America majority of them are Amalek, right? We was talking about that before the camera came on.
Look at all the industries in America. You know, movie, music, news. You know, they're all run by Amalek, man.
Yeah, Black Rock.
Even down to like school districts, certain school districts in America, Amalek literally bought out all the seats.
The whole board.
The whole board. Closed the schools down that was for regular people, and then shuffled that money into their own private schools. They literally do that, man, and they're gonna do that with all the other assets, all the other opportunities, because that's part of how they get down. That's what they did in the time of Haman, man.
And there was a video where this dude went up to one of the Amalek communities.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He asked him,
Called welfare babies.
"Hey, what you do for a living?" You know.
This, that.
Yeah.
I can't go to work. I got
Something like, how can I get into the whatever? There's
What's
side-
that in the tunnel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's side eye.
That show what? The show or something like that.
Something like that, man.
Hey, can I grab this real quick? This is I just looked up how many countries have the Amalekites been kicked out of. And I'll just get a couple. It says England, 2090, expelled under King Edward I. France, multiple exclusions, which just means like they've been expelled. 1182, 1306, 1321, 1394. Yeah, Amalek is Voldemort, bro. That's what I'm saying. You know, the Harry Potter movies, they used to, the first one they used to always talk about Voldemort is like him that must not be named. It's Voldemort, man.
Yeah, right.
Spain, 1492. It says Alhambra Decree. Portugal, 1497. Forced conversions plus exclusion. German states, dozens of cities and regions. Austria, Hungary, Lithuania, Russia. It says Yemen, Iraq, Egypt, Syria, Morocco. Man, like you gotta. Who's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody sit there. But when you look at what they was doing in Russia, when they was in Russia, man, they was trying to. And I think they did take out one of like the biggest leaders.
Yeah, the Bolsheviks. Bolshevik Revolution. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They're like, come on, man. Like what they do is they get into your system. Especially the financial system, right? They get into your financial system, they get control of the money, and then create chaos. And how they get rich is off of usury, man.
Yeah.
They create confusion and fund the war. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you gotta, but nobody's like, we the only ones say something about this. Like nobody else, that don't ring or go off. Like these people are painted as victims, and they're the furthest thing from it, man.
Well, a lot of these Edomites are waking up to that fact, man. About the side-eye and Amalekites, man.
Yeah.
They say, why are we, giving this much money and just like that, man? And then there was a movie that Elder Tahar mentioned. I think it's called The Wash House, something like that. Where it's like an old 1930s movie.
Yeah, it goes into that deal between the French War.
Well, there was a scene where he had his sons there. Because each one he was going to open up a bag in a different country. You seen that one? So that's basically the whole. And the brother said they got rich by usury, man. So they got rich by taking control of the banking system. There was that quote that said it does the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. That's being real evident right now, man.
Yeah.
Who has the gold? Who's making the rules?
Well, the scriptures say, "Woe unto him that buildeth his city by iniquity." Right. That's what he's done. Usury, destroying the people, flooding in, and they showed you that in the Epstein files that they had plans to denigrate the people to make it easier for their plans to come in, and they talked about making men more effeminate, making women more masculine. breaking apart the families,
Right.
making so they know what these things do to a society, but it was all their plan.
Yeah, they're talking about how they took the woman out the household
Mm-hmm.
so they can have double people paying taxes, you know, and also destroy the so-called family unit, man. You know that once you just do that, then that's where you get your disenfranchised youth, your troubled youth, man.
Yep.
Once you take the father out the household, and that's it, you know.
And then he made a prison system
Mm-hmm.
to funnel them from fatherlessness to right to the jails where they can make free labor off of them.
They created music industry to encourage them to
Mm-hmm.
be wicked, man.
Yeah.
You know, so he got this whole fucking what to say that is he makes deep search something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he made this whole negative environment. You know, 'cause people say you're a product of your environment. He made this wicked so-called ecosystem for your downfall, man.
Mm-hmm.
And people are now starting to see that.
I got two. I got one real quick. This is Job 25. It says, I'll start at 4. It says, knowest thou not this abode since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. You see, this is the joy of the hypocrite, that he was able to sit, like the scripture says, they sleep not unless they cause something to fall.
Right.
The system that they've created, how they do to people, how they make global geopolitical moves in the earth. This was a joy to them. They talked about the whole Gaza thing, like, hey, we're gonna plan for catastrophic success. What do you mean plan? So your plan is just hopefully we kill all these niggas and we ain't gotta sit here and have a Palestinian state. These niggas are demons. They're fucking demons, man. The Lord gotta come and get them, but the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment, man. His power right now is waning faster than ever before. It says that in the New Testament, I saw Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
Right.
He's fallen from that rulership state. That's what it means from heaven. To be on top, to be able to move how you want to move, do what you want to do. He's in that position. But his kingdom is fast and slipping out of his damn hands.
Right. That's goes back to what 2 Ezra 6 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know his age of his period of rulership is going to have an abrupt end, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I got this real quick. Psalms 37:34 says, "Wait on the Most High and keep His way. He shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. I have seen the wicked in great power spread himself like a green bay tree." You know that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the wicked in great power, like the brother brought out Job. You know that's the triumph of the wicked is going to be cut short. So he passed away, though he was not. Yeah, I saw him, but he could not be found. You know, so that's going to be the eventual end of these Amalekites, man. You know, the nation of Edom in general, man. Yeah, well,
End of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. You know, that's the whole point. We got up next. We got next.
Right.
You know, and us in this ministry is spiritually pulling Esau's heels down because that's where it starts first. That's how it starts. You know.
Yeah, that was just like it, bro. That was a similar to Jacob pulling Esau down, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's all like, you know, when you look at that, you know, we're pulling them down. But scriptures, because the scriptures say we're lifting up a skirt on this place, which means we're exposing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You haven't heard what you've been hearing until the prophets came out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody paying attention. And you got people mimicking what we've been saying as if they came up with it like they ain't been watching.
Yeah. You know, not Job, but Solomon said what? He applied his mind to no folly. But we did it first. We're the forerunners of exposing Esau. So now, because now you got Esau bringing out points we didn't technically pull out the exact same way. Like this whole shit about Rothschild being translated in Hebrew to Edom. Yeah, meaning shield of Edom. So now you got Esau doing that, but he's doing it. He's able to sit here and add these little tidbits on there because he picks up our research through the Spirit first, through the elders and the apostles. He picked up our research still in the words of the prophets, man. They trying to take this thing and act like it's theirs, but it's just further exposing Esau. But you devils are gonna go down at the same time too.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to disassociate themselves from the Amalekites.
Mm-hmm.
Like say, not us, them.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all about, man. It says no. It doesn't just say there's not going to be any remaining of Amalek. It says there's going to be none remaining of the house of Edom.
Right.
So you other heathen, then they try to put their own spin on it. They'll take what we say and put their own little Edomite spin on it. Fill up the whole breakdown. But you got it, brother.
Comments, just finishing out this Revelation 17. It says, for Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom to the beast, to the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. So these are the Lord's instructions that he's putting on the minds of these kings. Right? Proverbs 21:1. You know, in the book of Job, when the scripture says, in deep sleep, the Most High put of instruction. You know, hey, because there is no free will, man. The Lord is moving the minds of these people to fulfill his will. You know? It says, and the woman which thou sawest in that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth, which is America, man. That was all I asked.
Hey guys, can I grab this real quick, bro? Probably shot. I'm looking up like the history of the Khazarian Empire. And it says, what was the Khazarian Empire? It says the Khazar Empire was a Turkic kingdom that existed from 600 AD to 960 AD. It sat between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea, but is now southern Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, the Caucasus area. It says it controlled the major trade routes between Europe and the Middle East and Asia. It says key facts about the Khazars. A Turkic warrior empire, the Khazars were not originally Jewish. It says they were a Turkic nomadic people who built a strong military state, taxed trade routes. It says controlled the Volga River region. It says their capital cities were whatever. It says conversion to Judaism around 740 AD. It says this is the most famous part of their history. Around 740 AD, the Khazar ruling class, the king and nobility, converted to Judaism. Right? So why is that not talked about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's where Amalek, that's these small hats is who they truly are. And then biblically they're Amalek. You know what I'm saying? But why is that not, nobody's like, the thing is, like, y'all read over this, y'all skipped this, y'all didn't get this part. So who was the Jews before they converted to Judaism? You know what I'm saying? Before they converted, who was the Jews? You know what I'm saying? See, nobody understand, nobody want to go over that.
Yeah, they conveniently overlooked that.
Yeah. It is right here. It's like in plain sight. It's like, I just read it. You know what I mean?
They gotta look over it because for that to be challenged, they have to admit that the Israelites were right the whole time. That's a big part of it. You can't sit here and agree with points like that because then you got to come to the realization of who are those people? Now there's only one nation of people that's been telling you that these dudes is imposters and fakes. So now you got to sit here and consider are these them? And if they are, damn, we treated the people of the Lord like shit.
Even the Ishmaelites, they know that they're not the real Israelites, man.
Mm-hmm.
They know that.
Yep.
Because Ishmaelites, they're Ishmaelites. You know what I'm saying? Nobody coming up there.
That's true.
So they know who these small hatters are, man. In reality.
Yeah, that's true. Esau had to take over the whole education systems of countries to hide it. So, but now he's getting exposed at the end. So whatsoever make it manifest is of light. And so what the Lord does, said, ye are lights in the world. The Lord set up men to expose this stuff. You gotta go.
It's like it says, this made Khazaria the only kingdom in history ruled by a Jewish elite, but not ethnically Jewish in origin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah. It literally said it's a nomadic people. So they moved around, pop people and intermarried.
They claim to be them.
And if I'm not mistaken, that conversion was one of convenience.
Yep.
Because
They did it all.
they didn't want to, they said, we convert to Christianity, this is gonna happen, but refer to this now. This is gonna happen. So you know what? We're just gonna pick this.
Yeah.
It was a power play, pretty much. It had nothing to do with a spiritual awakening, conversion. It was just a power play, man. It was just a big show. And that's it. That's the nature of the Amalekite, man. He does things with deception.
Yeah. You got more on that, bro?
That face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, thus say Yahweh power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, meaning Russia. You go look at that word chief prince, it's Rosh, right? And what is the Russia? Russia comes from the word Rosh. Yeah. It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shield, and all of them handling swords. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them all, all of them with shields and helmets.
That's right, and they all joined forces together to fight against their other Edomite brethren.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's ultimately what it goes down to, man. Esau is always warring against himself. You know.
Yeah.
And Russia and the rest of these nations are going to fight against America and Amalek, and both of them are going to be burned down, man.
It says Gomer, in all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee, going into some of the Hamite nations. It says, be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's why, like the brother said, they're all coming together with Russia to fight against Babylon the Great, and Edom, and the Amalekites, man. And we went over it last week in our lesson, but you got all these armies building up in the Valley of Yahushua, right? Right there in that same area, man. I just saw a video where it had masses of U.S. military soldiers at an airport in Yemen. They're like, hey, America's about to do something. So you know down in Yemen is towards the south. So are they going to do a pincer attack? Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. I expect a false flag attack, man. And for them to blame Iran, you know, in the next coming days or weeks, man.
I like it because they said they was having some on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, they gonna do something
Yeah.
or whatever.
And Esau got the same MO, bro. Like it's the same shit every time. Like this shit gets very tacky at this point, man.
Yeah.
Like niggas just fake some shit and blames you. You know, even fucking Nero. You know, Nero faked the fire and blamed the Christians.
Yep.
The Israelites. Like so Esau been doing the same shit forever, man.
The villain victim.
You know?
You want to keep going on this shit, man?
God, I think the point was made.
You want to grab the Egyptians against the Egyptians? Got it. It's Isaiah 19, and I'll get to the point in 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, the modern day Egypt, which is America. It says, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to idols, and to charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, which all of that shit is gonna fail. Hey, you know, a lot of their practices with the Eastern Styles did expose was that what they worship on the left hand side. Not only are they freaks, but they sacrifice to these demons, man. You know what I mean? They do it. And then my woman was watching this the chef's point of view of the island, I guess. And bro, it was a lady. Man, this shit was crazy. We had to rewind it when she said that. She was like, yeah, you know, she was a part of the whole shit, the whole island thing. She was like, yeah, you know, 110 people died from a year on their construction jobs from doing construction. another 100 people die in healthcare. She said we only kill 75 people a year.
What?
She's
we only
like, we only, so if you think about it, we're not really, they doing worse than we are. And she was like, and only 1% or less of them get 8. And I was like, not positive.
Get 8.
Yeah, and I paused it and I was like,
damn.
You hear this shit?
Right.
Like, you hear how, like, they try to normalize and compare it to something. Well, if you were righteous, well, we only do this. If you had any righteous bone in your body, you would figure out how to stop so many deaths from people that's actually going to work and shit. Like, not add to it. You know what I'm saying? You trying to be, well, we're the lesser devil. Like, no, you're still a devil.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck this bitch just say?
That's madness, bro.
But it goes to show you how they think.
Yeah.
Their thoughts are, like, you could, like, if a heathen just, like, one of these elite heathen just laid out their thoughts to you, you'd be amazed of how they brain, like, think about shit. Like, even in that, with the Easteen, about the money, that interview. How the fuck his brain even come up with all this shit? And they're confident in wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are pompous in wickedness, man. It's like they trust in it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's hard to explain. But
You brought out the one that says, you don't go heat till you do some wickedness. It's that right there, man. It's that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a constant in them, man. It's just, that's their nature.
His soul was just lifted up. It's not upright.
Right.
Right. You can put this devil in the best position. Like they have the movie Trading Places, right?
Right.
The premise of the movie was nature versus nurture, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the premise of the movie is. If you take somebody poor, right, and you put them in a good environment, will he become effective and able? And if you take somebody that came from a good environment and put them in a bad environment, will he do wicked? Well, the nature versus nurture in reality in real life is there's a people whose nature is just towards wickedness, and there's a people whose nature is just towards righteousness.
Right.
And the world is getting ready, getting to see that shit in spades now. Because now stuff is getting brought up. But shit's coming out that we didn't even bring up. Women's, I mean, the shit that they keep going in these files and stuff like that, man, it's crazy, man. And then I saw a video not too long ago, I think I sent it in the chat. They said Israel has the biggest skin bank in the world. Because they'll use skin, like if you get a 3rd-degree burn or something like that. Sometimes you can get cadaver skin so they can do a skin graft. They got the biggest skin bank in the world, and it's because they just stripping it off the fucking Palestinians they killed. Biggest human skin bank in the world. Bro, these niggas is demons, man. But nobody looks at that like, hey, well, where's the correlation here? And it's not even condemned. There's something that needs to be reviewed. And even if it was reviewed, they've been brought up on charges for the international to the international court for crimes against humanity. And every time them niggas is just coming in and telling the international court that, hey, you niggas are illegitimate.
You're anti.
Yeah, you're anti. You niggas is anti-life, man. And the Lord got to snuff your little asses out, man.
I got one for you.
Go ahead, bro.
This Obadiah 1 and verse 3, it says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Mm.
You know,
Read that again. Bible shop.
Obadiah 1 and verse 3, that the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
You see, in his mindset, I saw a video of this Amalekite sitting there saying, black people are meant to be slaves. That's what they were. That's the curse of Cain. That's what they were meant to be. And then another one, he was sitting there talking. It was going through a line of these Amalekites going into the curriculum they teach in some of these military academies, and they're sitting there all saying basically the same thing. It's an honor for a boy to be a slave to us. They require it just to get close to God. You devils, man, are fucking demons.
I can't watch shit like that.
I'm going.
I'll lose my fucking mind, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'll break the screen, bro. That shit just... I seen that too, but I just had to like watch it like when I like that shit, bro. Like them the type of devils there that we're gonna do some Mortal Kombat shit too, man.
Because really, they don't have anything to sit here and, like the scriptures say, why does the axe boast himself against him that he was there with? They don't have anything to really be that proud about, to be that confident and pompous to tell the world that you should be a slave and you should be a slave. Because really, they don't produce anything.
Yeah, at all.
They buy the patent for everything, or they get it through wicked means of deceit and everything like that.
That's right.
So, what do you have to be proud about? Why is Earth and Ashes proud? You devils are nothing, man.
And that's why he lies about the history. You know, he call it critical race history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like a critical race theory. You know, now it's critical race historical facts.
Yep.
You know, because now every year some kids actually don't know there was a slave trade now. Like some children that went to elementary school, you ask them, and they have no idea what that was. Like that's bugged out.
Yep.
And then you got some niggas saying they don't even think it happened.
That's funny. Yeah, man.
Yeah, stupid niggas, bro.
You know?
You can literally go to videos and see slaves talk about their time during slavery.
Shit, I think bugged out even more. I think bugged out to a world standard, man. They'll leave this.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's bugged out to the average person.
Everybody in the world knows they're slaves. There's documented history of the slave ships. There's documented history of the travel plans. There's documented history of how much they sold niggas for.
Right. Yeah, they got documents of the Jim Crow law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like they probably think that didn't happen either.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bro. You got it, bro.
and Aaron Lopez had that first slave ship, man. He was an Amalekite. You know?
Little demons, bro. These niggas, bro. I can't wait till the Lord start just judging niggas, man.
It says verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh.
You see?
Yeah, you got it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You just want to say something.
Yeah, because now Esau has that space force.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he actually believes that he's going to fight against the Most High. You know, if a brother can grab Psalms, the 2nd chapter, you know, where the Lord say he gonna laugh at them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he had them in derision. Because, like, when you actually sit there and think about it, he actually think he gonna beat the Lord, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's,
You're going to usurp the birthright.
when you sit there and really think about that, bro, that shit is funny as hell, bro.
Yeah, but Scripture says the pride of the heart is deceiving. You know, so he thinks that he can pull. He thinks that with his left hand demon worship and his technology, he can pull a fast one over against the Most High, man.
Yeah, he writes his contracts with loopholes, so maybe the Lord got a loophole.
Yeah.
Stupid nigga. Psalms 2 and 4, it says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh.
So, like, could you start verse 1?
Psalms 2 and 1, it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying,
Right, because you got the quote, your arm is too short to box with God. You know, Esau knows he can't reach the Most High, so he goes against the next best thing, his people. Got it.
It says, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. It says, Yahweh shall have them in derision.
Right, because the Lord is laughing at these devils, man. You know? Babe, because it's good to say, I have created the smith that bloweth the coal. The Lord, you watch the movie Oppenheimer, the Lord put it on his spirit to know how to split an atom. The Lord increased his knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as it's good to say, not wisdom shall be increased in the latter days. You know, the Lord gave you these weapons, and as powerful as they are, they still weak as fuck.
Yep.
They're not doing nothing to the Lord.
Yep.
So the Lord is laughing at you, man. And he's letting you build up that pride, man, just like Pharaoh.
It says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure.
That's right, because Yahweh Shai is going to come down, and the scripture says he had many crowns upon his head.
Yep.
All right, meaning he symbolizing, and he took down all the heathens, man.
Yep. Yep. You want to keep going on there?
Verse 6.
It says, yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion.
Which is Yahweh Shai, man. You know, his kingdom is up next, where the earth is going to be ruled in righteousness, man, because our earth under Esau's rule is like Scar in the Proud Lands, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was black, everything was dead, you know, everything was just languish. devil has done a number on he everything touch it, everything the scripture says in Habakkuk, he is as death, man. You know.
That was said made the earth a wilderness, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like brother said, everything he touches is for destruction.
Yeah. Any other precept?
It's on the Matthew.
Yeah, you want me to, I got that Psalms, bro. You want it?
The
Lord shall I?
I already read
yeah,
it.
Are you ready? So,
Matthew 12, but every king divided against itself. Can't hang it real quick. Matthew 12, verse 25, and it reads, in fact, that's verse 25 real quick. And it reads, how shall I do their thoughts? It says to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Every house, in every city or house divided against itself, it shall not stand. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself, how shall then his kingdom stand? Because how Satan is going to stand. This whole left, even in his own country, still the whole left wing, right wing, it's clashing together. It's constantly all the goddamn time. The whole bird is